First thing, are you a bit fucked? The first thing is admitting that there's some sort of problem. It could be I'm always getting into shit relationships. I'm always getting into jobs and not liking it. I get into continual conflict with other males. I don't have good relationships with my family members. Are you a bit fucked? So as soon as you acknowledge a problem, I think the possibility for change begins. But not without saying, could you not be fucked? That's the second step. Is it possible to not be fucked? 3, are you on your own going to unfuck yourself? Right? That means accepting help. For me, I knew I was a smackhead. It's obvious I was a smackhead. But I came to believe from meeting people that was much worse smackheads than me who had got clean that it was possible to not be a smackhead. But I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. If we had the answer to our problems inside our own fucking head, we'd have found it by now. If any version of psychoanalyses or whatever it is you're traipsing through to unravel the mysteries of your past, if it was going to be done in solitude, I think we would have happened upon it. This is where this program becomes interesting because it happens collectively as a group. I know that all of you have got stories. I know that any one of you could tell me something about yourself that would make me cry because it's so painful and so beautiful. I know you still carry aspirations. I know that you carry with you the heartache, the heartbreak. I know the 3 a.m. you. The third step, are you on your own going to unfuck yourself? It has sort of mystical and spiritual connotations, i.e. I happen to believe in God. I believe in God, a form of God, not some daft fucking thing written down in an old book. No, limitless consciousness, mysteries, entanglement, the roaring world of coincidence. Step 4 is where it gets a bit fucking admin heavy. Step 4 is this: write down all the things that are fucking you up or have ever fucked you up. Don't lie or leave anything out. That's a hard process. You've probably got things where someone was rude to you at school, broke your heart, made you feel insignificant, inadequate about your body or about your life or about something in you. I fucking did. Loads of things happened to me, but I've catalogued all of it. Fucking hell, it took ages. It was a right ball ache. Wrote it all down. Things that were deep in me that made me feel ashamed and separate from the world forever. Like, I could never be accepted. I'll never be good enough. I'd done that thing. That person said that thing to me. But step 5 is honestly tell someone trustworthy about how fucked you are. What was curious about that is that on my step 4, which is an inventory of all my grievances, or in the parlance of this program, resentments, there were things that were so minor I was embarrassed I could remember them. Minor little things. That person looked, Glenn Dainty, sports day, pushed me aside and won. I was 5, could still remember it. And then things that I think, fuck, that was dark, I'd done that shit. Dark things, self-harming things, harm. And when I told the other geezer that I told this to, because as I say, this program is best practiced in communion, he just went, I've done something like that, that's not that bad. My point is this: that none of us need carry the shame anymore. None of us need live in a pain-based identity anymore. I put it to you that we live with a biochemistry that stimulates fear and desire in order that we may survive. You need fear, get on your fucking toes, watch yourself out on them planes. You need desire to get out there and hunt and procreate. But when you live in a culture that continually stimulates fear and desire in order to make you a better consumer, these biochemical advantages and imperatives become problematic. That's what I'm saying we're living in now. Having done this inventory, you'll be ready for step 6. It reveals a lot of fucked up patterns. Like when I looked at my own life, I saw that the way I used to get expelled out of schools was the same way I would get thrown out of jobs years later. The same way that my relationship was difficult with people when I was a schoolboy became difficult romantic partnerships when I was an adult. We've got patterns. And here I will make one of the most important points to you that I can make. You don't choose between working a program and not working a program. You choose between a conscious program and an unconscious program. You are already working a program without question. You are working in the conditioning of your culture, your class, your family, and your school. You are the person that you were told to be, for good or for ill. What this is an opportunity to identify your patterns and your behaviors so that you can form a better aspect of yourself. I feel that we live in a culture that exacerbates and provokes the lower aspects of our nature, the fear, the desire, the lust, in order that we will be good consumers, and ignores the fact that we are altruistic, kind, loving, and sweet. Them things get a little bit lost sometimes. Step 7, are you willing to live in a new way that's not all about you and your previous fucked up stuff? You have to. That is another point in this program where there's a kind of spiritual intersection. Me, I'm a person that does pray and meditate, but for me, all that means is that I don't just live my life on a material level. I don't just think, I'm Russell, I'm going to go to that thing later and talk to a squire, and then I'll be in a car, and that's that. No, I see myself as having a life that's beyond the limited scope of sensual and what do I want to say? Gross understanding. I believe there are subtler energies at work in a human being. You know the coincidences and synchronicities from your own life. You know the mysteries of your own myth. You know the moments where, had you turned another corner, to quote dear George Michael, another addict that we lost, that maybe your life would have been different. You'd have made different decisions. You may never have met him or her. You may never have taken that job or that opportunity. That sense that perhaps we are being guided. That sense that perhaps the same way as our fingerprints are unique, there is some other code, some less easily ascertainable code that is trying to realize itself the same way that an acorn will grow into an oak tree. The same way that there is some knowledge within each seed, within each cell, that it must realize itself. If your consciousness is in attunement with this energy, then I think there are rich, rich possibilities for us as human beings. 8 and 9, step 8, prepare to apologize to everyone for everything affected by your being so fucked up. If you've been a drug addict for any serious amount of time, you've caused some real damage to people. Or if you've been a person that's just put yourself first a lot, you will have caused real damage to people. I did. And part of my journey has been going and making amends, not just because restitution and apology are good, fine spiritual things to do, but also to remind me that I don't do that sort of thing anymore. Now when I feel the sort of the casual urge to be dismissive of people, something in me reminds me, don't treat other human beings as a commodity. People don't only exist to serve you. Every single one of us in this room has our own little story, has our own little pain, has our own little journey, and none of us needs to be subjugated into one another's lives. But there's some of us have a tendency to insert ourselves into other people's drama. Some of you are like, oh, why do I always go out of arseholes? And those of us that are arseholes are very grateful for your arsehole attraction. But you may be right. It may be better if you looked at your code, looked at your programming, looked at the kind of relationships you're drawn into. Step 9 is, having made a list of all the people you've damaged, you become willing to make amends to them, unless you making amends would fuck their shit up bad for them. E.g., you don't go, mate, I'm ever so sorry, I've been having an affair with your wife. That was wrong. If that person doesn't know that, you've just made their life far, far worse. It's a program of spiritual growth and development. The final 3 steps, 10, watch out for your fucked up behavior and thinking and be honest when it happens. 11, stay connected to your new perspective. That is an interesting thing, and that's where prayer and meditation become quite important. Like, there will be times in a day when you let go. You know, when you see a cyclist and a cab driver about to have a row in the street, they've let go. They've let go of the connection, haven't they? All that matters in that moment is, I'm going to fucking kill you. But if you were able to talk to them and go, mate, you've got your fucking family, your kids, are you willing to give your life up? There have been moments in my life where I've done it too, where I've gone, I'll fucking put all the chips of my life, I'll put on that, so I'll gambled a lot on you, mate, I'll fucking kill you. And like, for what? For what? For some moment. It doesn't mean anything. So the step 11 becomes, with step 10, you're constantly observing your patterns. You're watching your mind work. Oh, look, I'm doing that shit again. Step 11 is you remain connected. So that you'll notice it. If someone provokes you, check me. I am easy provoked. If I feel men are not being respectful to me, I'm provoked. Because I'm not a conventional male. I grew up in a very conventional male environment. If I feel intimidated or threatened by men, I feel I have to overcompensate for that. But I know that about myself now, so I'm not entirely governed by it. The 12th step is where you dedicate your life to helping other people, where we unpick the great problem of our age: self-centeredness, narcissism, obsession with self, my hair, my products, this lovely little fucking Alexander McQueen little skeleton thing. I start to look beyond self-centeredness, knowing that it will always be there, but not having it as my coordinate, as my guiding star. My guiding star becomes, are you being kind to anyone? Pause for a moment to think, have you done anything for anyone other than yourself all day today? And if the answer is no, that's a weird thing for a social animal that's meant to live in little tribes, roaming through forests and plains. If all you've done is, I want this, I want that, I want that. Now, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. Me. If I don't watch myself, very self-centered little individual. So that's a bit of a 25-minute précis of how this program works. Anyone can do it. It's fucking easy. You shouldn't do it on your own. But if you're not doing it, you're being subjected to the patterns of your childhood.